You're watching WGBS News Metropolis.
Okay, next up we have the sister of Carla, Lisa Gower, who is also the co-chair of the celebration, but she is also a previous winner of the Lois Lane Community Service Award. Lisa?
For 27 years, Metropolis has given out an award to a lady in our community who has dedicated service hours that are probably uncountable, and has given of herself freely to the community. Every single one of these ladies has done it in a different way. For 27 years, a new person has received the Lois Lane Award every year. And I don't know if, Noelle, if you became Lois Lane or if Lois Lane became Noelle, because the qualities that you have that I have experienced with you are the same qualities that your character has had. And that is that community-minded spirit, that curiosity, that little touch of spunkiness that we've all experienced. And all of those qualities are things that it takes to be a community service person. And I would like to read the names of those 27 ladies that have received this honor. This year was Carrie Neely. And if you are here, please stand up so that you can be acknowledged. Yeah. Carolyn Jones, Sue Barfield, Lisa Gower, Julie Russell, Tina Wilmus, Sandy Daly, Carla Ogle, Frida Cook, Chris Duncan, Maxine Russell, Judy Lester, Janae Erpenbach, Angie Shelton, Rebecca Lambert, Doris Vogt, Vicki Mayhall, Kitty Oldham, Tony Miller, Carolyn Kendall, Diane Eichhorn-Garrow, Jenny Walters, who was actually on the committee that got the Superman statue, June Elliott, Judy Compton, Mildred Farley, Debbie Simmons, Sharon Burris, and Phyllis Harris. And Noelle, I want to thank you for being a part of Metropolis and for being a part of the history now of Metropolis. And I want to thank you for setting such an example through the character that you played and through your personal life of being the kind of person that every woman should strive to be.
Very nice words, Lisa. Thank you so much. Next up, we'd like to hear from Mel Bauer. Mel is with Banterra Bank, and Banterra has been very generous with the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Metropolis. This statue is a part of what was their parking lot before, and they were generous enough to go into an agreement with us to allow to have this statue here. So I'd like to welcome and say thank you to Mel.
When we were first approached and asked if we would be willing to share a portion of our property for this project, we enthusiastically said yes. As a locally owned and operated bank, we always invite opportunities to invest in our local communities, and we couldn't think of a better way to partner with the City of Metropolis to invest in this community. And so we're happy to be here today and to celebrate with you for the unveiling of this great statue and the celebration of a wonderful person. And we're excited to have this to be a part of our property in your city and the legacy of Metropolis. Thank you.
All right, now we have two gentlemen that have traveled from Utah. I would like to first bring to the stage Gary Ernest Smith. He is the sculptor who has worked for many, many, many hours on this project, and I'd like to hear what he has to say about it.
Who would have thought that a boy growing up in the 50s would have an opportunity to not only sculpt Superman, but Lois Lane and Noelle Neal? Who would have thought that? I grew up on a farm, a cattle ranch in Oregon, and my only source of inspiration for art at all was the comics. And I was greatly influenced at a very early age by the comics. In fact, in the early 50s, was hired to try to resurrect an old comic strip called Red Ryder and Little Beaver, and maybe some of you remember that. I did that for a period of time and moved on to becoming a professional artist in the sense that a painter and sculptor. And I've been doing that for longer than I want to remember. But what a privilege it was for me to take the background that I had as a youth, that I had kind of been inspired to create images and so forth, and be inspired by the comics, and see that come to fruition in Superman. And as you know, in looking at Superman, it was quite a job putting that all together. It was actually cast in 75 different pieces, bronze welded all back together, moved to Metropolis on a flatbed truck, and placed in the middle of the night with a tornado moving in upon us. And as I remember the morning when we had the dedication of that, it was draped with a what was it draped with? Parachute. And I think it was the only thing that was kind of left standing, you know, over here in the square. There were windows blown out and so forth, and big generators around for the power. But we got that up, and it was a real tribute to be able to do that. And then when I was chosen to do the Noel Neal Lois Lane statue, I thought, boy, this is just really the height. And I had not met her, but I was given an awful lot of information, and having grown up as a boy in the 50s, I saw those old Superman television shows, and I thought, oh, maybe they're so wonderful, and the fact of being able to do a bronze statue and to represent Noel was just really kind of a dream come true. So just to give you a short idea of what it takes to create a statue like that, it took me about 2 weeks just gathering material. And I realized not only in doing a bronze statue, you don't just do a statue of someone, you try to capture the soul and character of the individual also. Having not met her, the closest thing I could come to was those old television shows. So I could actually see her in motion and study her character. And then was given the book, that the biography, or the biography that was done on her, and it has such wonderful photographs in it. And it gave me a really good comprehensive idea of her life, what she looked like as a child, and what she's, in her latter years, being able to study her character and so forth, and come to kind of the quintessential image of what I thought that she should represent. And on your little brochure here, this is an original sketch, an original drawing of the concept that was chosen, which is what the sculpture is like, as you'll see pretty soon. And I put all these things in the hopper, in the head here, and let them gel for a while. Finally came up with these ideas. They were submitted then to the Lois Lane Noel Neal Committee, and they were the final decision as to which one, and I was in complete agreement with them when it was chosen. So then I set about doing a small bronze statue, which was about 18 inches tall. From that bronze statue then, it's called pointed up or enlarged to a life-size image. You never do an image outside of an individual if you're going to be a heroic image, which I consider her to be somewhat. You always do it a little larger than life size, because outdoors it looks dwarfed if it's the actual size of an individual. So you'll see her, in her heroic size here. And in a position of Lois Lane, the reporter, a woman in charge, a woman knows what she wants. And I tried to capture that character, but most of all, I tried to capture the spirit of Noel Neal. And I hope she's pleased with it today. She actually hasn't got to see it yet. Kevin, who owns the Bronze Foundry in which it was created, will tell you a little bit more about the actual production of it. But what a privilege it's been for me to not only be able to do Superman, but also Noel Neal. And I hope this is a wonderful contribution to time and eternity, which it probably will be standing here for a long time in commemorating Miss Neal. So I thank you very much.
You're watching WGBS News, Metropolis.